going on? Good afternoon, YouTube. Here we are. There's Tilly. She's a noisy rat bag. Yeah, that's you. You're the rat bag. Yes, you are. We're just out for a little Wednesday wobble. Weather's cooled down. Summer's kind of pretty much over now, I guess. So it's still 28, 30 degrees. Tilly. Rug off, cleaner. We're just going that way. Down Firefield Road, where we'll arrive in about, I don't know, about 50 k's or something at the Firefield pub, where we may or may not stop for a cold drink. We'll see how we feel. And it's nice to be out on the old girl again. Tilly. Yeah, I know. You got to make the thing go. Yeah, I know. But it's still pretty noisy, mate. Still pretty noisy. Yeah, so the trouble with you is you keep breaking my concentration. That's right, I was gonna check the fuel, wasn't I? Yeah, not a huge amount in there. Certainly enough to get to Tullamore sort of thing. And we can get some. Or Trundle. Girl. Yeah, so anyway, I used to ride once a week at least, you know, back in the old days, as it were, when we had the Triumph and whatnot. Now I'm lucky to get out at once a month at the moment. Mostly that's just because I'm busy with the house stuff and also with the hot weather, you know. That's what it is out here in the bush. And so we just thought we'd get out for a little ride. And I've got a couple of other rides coming up. I want to take her and a tent and a fishing rod over to Lake Angelico and just sort of go for a ride and camp overnight sort of thing. So I just had to check I got my phone. It's only about 150 kilometres from my place, but it looks like there's a couple of places that look nice to put a tent up, take a fishing rod, take the dog, you know, take some baked beans when we don't catch any fish, that sort of thing. Stay the night, ride home again, just to sort of, you know, have a little bit of a break. So, and then I've got a memorial ride coming up for my mate Arby's cousin Nick, who used to live out this way before the cancer got him. So that's coming up sometime this month, I think. No, on the Marby though, with the way he's so busy. Might not have until May, sort of thing. And that'll just be a short ride for me. He's got to come a fair way to get there first. That'll be just up to the Rabbit Trap Hotel in Albert. I've been doing a fair bit of travelling in the car of late, unfortunately. Got some issues with my prosthetic leg going on. Have to have a new socket made. And so I've been going up there. I've made 2 trips and I've got another trip again next week. That should see the end of that. It's a long drive, it's about 900 and something kilometres each way, so it's kind of too far to take the dog, you know, in a got to get the road done trip, you know, kind of way. I'm sure she'd go happily to Perth and back, you know, but not doing 900 kilometres a day. I said I'd get up at 3 in the morning, leave about 4 and get to my mate Mark's place about 4. So it's a full 12-hour drive. And most of it's not bad driving, you know, up until you get to Hexham. On the start of the big M1 up the coast, you know, then it's madness. All the mad people in cars that, you know, either want to sit on 80 kilometres an hour or 140, you know, in a 110 zone. So in those trips I called in on the way back on one trip and saw Kerry and was lucky enough to be able to have a catch up with Seamus for a little while. Those who've followed the channel for a while will know Seamus, the little spotty black and white dog. He was Kerry's dog originally, which is why, you know, he went with her when we went our separate ways. And he's 14 and a half now. Still going really well. I mean, no one would look after him better than Kerry would. So he's a happy boy. He was happy to see me though, which was nice. And I was happy to see him. I'll put up a little video. I gave the bike a wash yesterday, so I'm not going to ride along in the dirt if I don't have to. And just gave it a wash. I didn't give it a polish yet. Good girl. So I was talking to Erin, who's my prosthetic technician, or whatever you want to call it, prosthetist. This leg that I've got is an Otto Bock C-Leg 4. So it's got a foot made by another company, made by Hossor, who are Austrian, I think. And blah blah blah. I've had it for, I will have had it for 4 years come August. Every 2 years I have to take it back to the shop. They send the knee across to Germany for its 2-year service, and they give me a loaner, you know, for a few weeks while it's gone. And they send it over to Germany, and the Germans look at it and go, oh mein Gott, das geht aber gar nicht, ne? They sort of all get upset because I, you know, take it out and use it. And it gets, you know, scratches and bumps and whatever, you know. And after this service, which will be its 4-year service, the knee then only has a lifespan of another 2 years. So the knee, which is, you know, fairly complex computer thing, it's only good for 6 years, and then it runs out of warranty. So that means be, you know, up for a replacement for the entire knee and leg then. So they're what, 2027? And Aaron wants to try and get me a on Otto Bock Genium X, which she says will do all the things that I already do but shouldn't be doing with the one I've got, sort of thing. I treat it too roughly. The Genium's designed to do that. You know, you can you know, use it underwater and all these things. You're not supposed to ride around in the rain with this one, but that's a bit unavoidable at times. So living out here is not so, you know, wet. There's been huge amounts of rain over the last few weeks all around northern New South Wales, Queensland, western Queensland, all that stuff. You know, Mark's had literally hundreds of millimetres of rain at his place, and I got home on Saturday night after driving back from his place, and my place had 4 mils. That was bloody disappointing, I can tell you. Schon wieder Straßenbau. Naja, was soll's. No, it's a lovely day for a motorbike ride. It's nice that it's not so hot anymore for the rest of the season. Won't be long until it's hot again, but in the meantime, you know, the nights are cooler and the days are cooler. And it'll get cold, like it gets cold at my place, down to -3 or 4, but nothing too dramatic. And during the daytime it can go from -4 to +17 or 18, so you know, you only need the I just use the air conditioner reverse cycle, you know, and put that on for a little while, and that's enough, you know, when you sort of, you know, in the evening and then early in the morning before you get up, half an hour or something. Meanwhile, the world continues to unravel. Donald Trump's mad as a 2-bob watch. We've got a federal election coming up in May in Australia, so it's about a month away. And that'll be really interesting to see what happens there. There is a move in recent times to vote for independence. Teals, as they call them, because that's the colour of it. Their seat colour, you know. But I'm not sure about the value of that. It's more or less just a protest, you know, vote, effectively, because imagine, you know, in an ideal world, everybody got their way, and all these teal independents got in. Some will say are pocket liberals, and some will say are pocket greens, or whatever, you know. And then you'd have, like, you know, say you need sort of roughly 78 or 80 seats or whatever to form a government. And if you get 80 independents, how are they all going to work together ever? You know, it'll just be a nightmare. I'm not saying there aren't problems with the system we have, because there are. You know, Labor and Liberal, Labor and Liberal, and even the Greens to a certain extent, definitely the Nationals, probably the Democrats, they're all just representing vested interests anyway. None of them have any genuine ideology apart from making more money. So their cousin Bill, who happens to own a mining company or some crap, you know, it's definitely a, you know, I think democracy in general is a kind of, it's a crippled system at this point. If you look at what's going on in America, if you look at what's happened in recent years in Germany, I love it when the water truck comes out. No, good girl. She's been good. Just going back to Seamus, you know, having seen him recently, it was really nice. Kerry said, oh, you can take him home for a holiday if you like. I said he'd come back worse. He wouldn't like that, because he'd go feral with her, you know. And she's pretty feral. He was probably, like, in retrospect, the best sidecar dog. You know, he was a reasonable weight, and he was the only one who would actually engage with what the sidecar was doing and act accordingly. You know, around left-handers, he would go and stand over on the left. On right-handers, he would, you know, come in close and lean over this way. He was quite an in-tune sort of a dog. You know, Bella just wanted to stand next to me, no matter what we were doing. Stick her head there, look through there, you know. This one here, she mostly just hangs around, you know, doesn't worry about it too much at all. I didn't realise there was all this roadworks on this road. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not like I'm getting delayed by hours or anything. Generally speaking, I enjoy this loop along this bit of road. See, he's doing 60 as well. Not. Anyway, so as you can see, it's a terrible day. All this traffic. Shocking business, really. Quick update on the house. I now actually have a fully functioning inside flushing toilet. I don't mind telling you that I sat on the throne, as it were, and cracked open a bottle of beer to celebrate. There's not really much avoiding of this stuff, is there? You know, I dug the whole septic system, put in a drainage field and all that stuff. The last thing now, I'm just filling in the hole, the long trench to the hole. You know, quite a bit of dirt left over because of the tank, you know. So I'll gradually spread that around the yard, I guess. The soil around where the pepper trees grow. Oh, a bit of roadworks. It's very sandy and feels very leached, you know. Not sure if they can actually make it stop. There you go, mate. Thinks she owns the world. You'll be right, won't you? No, you'll be right. I can't believe I just found neutral. You'll be right. Yeah, you're right. Oh. That's it, we may never get going again. Oh, no. Tilly.
Definitely owns that seat anyway.
Oh shit, yeah. 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 Well, it's a better time of year to be standing out in the sun than it was. Bit cooler.
50 metres that way though.
What's up there? What was that?
I'd like to be 50
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, they never put you in the shade, do they? Poor old Tilly, she doesn't like it when the bike doesn't move. Now, got to move that bike, don't we? Righto. Wait. But he pierced the eardrums, it would. We got the grader coming along. See you later. nice out on the bike. I like that. It's been too long. It takes you a while to get back into the groove of just relaxing with the sidecar wherever it wants to go. Oh, that's sort of, mate, that's the wrong part to be rolling, isn't it? Hey, what's going on with that? That's the thing about carburetors, isn't it? It's got a Super G, this one. S&S. But they will just go pit at that moment and stall. Which is why people with old bikes tend to sit at traffic lights blipping the throttle all the time. It's not because it sounds cool, it's keeping the motor running. But people with new fangled, you know, fuel injected bikes don't know that. Yeah, so it takes a while to get back in the groove. The sidecars are a bit different, and I suppose I'm getting older too, so you sort of, you know, you're not as readily adaptable or something as you were. Takes you a few, I'm not talking about a few kilometres, just to sort of, you know, get loose in the saddle again. So my mate Harvey's got a collection of bikes, lots of bikes, you know. Everything from little YB, an RD 200 sort of thing, Yamaha 2-strokes from the 70s, to an 1980 FLS shovel head, which you've seen, 76 Bonneville, which you've probably seen. Got a DR650, lots of stuff, you know. He's got a Triton actually, slimline feather bed frame, I think it's a slimline. The 900 SS Ducati, like a new one, newish. He was talking about just today, actually, earlier on today, we're swapping a couple of messages on Messenger, you know, and he's saying the shovel's about the only one, is the one that he most wants to ride at the moment, you know. And my mate Mark's got a collection of bikes too, and he's owned all kinds of bikes, you know, since I've known him. He had a Z900, that he used to try and make go around corners and never really succeeded. Lots of box sections and, you know, frame bracing and all this kind of stuff. Sounded really nice. Had a nice 4-into-1 Premier pipe on it. Had a Yoshi kit, so it went really well. He sold that and bought a 900 SS, like a genuine wire wheel 75 SS, which he kept until only very recently. When he was in England, he bought himself a 1967 Triumph Saint 650 Saint, which is the single carb ex-police model. He rode that around there for a bit in England stuff, then shipped it back to Australia, and he's had it ever since. He's still got that, and he's just recently rebuilt it and put it on club plates and stuff like that. He's got a 1000 Monster, Ducati Monster, that he's trying to sell, I think, but don't think he's trying very hard. And he's also got a newish Fat Bob, Harley Fat Bob, which he bought brand new, you know, from Western Ranges a couple of years ago. I can't remember how long ago now, might be 3 or 4 years. And one of the comments he made is that you know, compared to, you know, the sports bikes, his SS and Monster and whatever, the thing about Harleys is that you can have fun on them at legal speeds. And he's right, you know, like I just enjoy riding along at this, you know, we're sitting on, you know, around 100 most of the time, just strolling along, and it's, you ride that sort of wave of torque. It vibrates a bit, but not too much. It's certainly not annoying, you know. A lot of good points, the old girl. And these Evo motors are great. I've been sort of off and on over it for a while, but just recently I started watching a couple of their videos again on YouTube, and the channel's called Joy Machine, and it's a couple, you know. He's riding an Evo, and she rides an Enfield twin, I think it's a Continental GT, and they're in America and they just do rides and camp and all that kind of stuff, you know. And you know, he seems to get good service and mileage out of his Evo. You don't see him doing anything with it, like all you see is them riding, eating, and her wearing a bikini, which is not a bad thing, you know. You know, they're out there enjoying it, which is great, putting in some miles, you know. I don't know whether they get to their camping spot, throw up the tent, and he spends an hour working on the bike. I don't know, but maybe he just sets it up really well while they're still at home, and you know, it's a Softail if I remember rightly, but I can't think of what exactly it would be. It was a 90s model anyway. It might be a Heritage Softail, or I don't know. And, but it seems to go along nicely. As does the Enfield. This road has taken a bit of a turn for the worse. No wonder they're sort of doing their work on it. What's happened there? What the fuck is that?